Alright, so on our question number 1, we're rewriting the writing the exponential in radical form, which means we are using x to the power of a over b is equal to b on the root, so that denominator goes on the root, and you have x to the power of a. So to rewrite this one, I would have x to the power of 3, and on that radical I would put a 4. Simplify using the properties of exponents. When I have a power being raised to a power, that means I multiply, so I would get 4 to the 15th, and if you wanted to keep simplifying, you would just enter that and have 4 to the 15th. If it had looked like this, 4 to the 3rd times 4 to the 5th, instead of multiplying them, we would have added them, so we would have 4 to the power of 5, 6, 7, 8, the power of 8. So with the parentheses, we multiplied. When there weren't any, we add the powers. Simplify using the properties of exponents. When I do not have a plus or minus sign in here, I can distribute this power to all of the variables. 1/3 of 9 is equal to 3. 1/3 of 6 is equal to 2, and then z will just have the power of 1/3. Since it just wants it as an exponent, I leave it this way. I'm not going to write it as a radical. Which expression represents an irrational number? So make sure you review what rational versus irrational means. Which of the following is a factor of the function -2 x plus 2 x minus 3? This section is a factor, right? It's in factored form or intercept form. That would be a factor. Or you could say that x minus 3 is a factor. It could be either one or both. Factor completely. So I look at this one, I can't take out a number because 3 and 5 don't have a common factor, but they both have a b. If I were to rewrite it out, some of you guys like to see all of the b's. Whenever they match up, I can take those out. So we would have b squared taken out, and the leftover would be 3b plus 5. So this would be my final answer. I factored that completely. Subtract the polynomials. There is nothing in front to distribute into the first parentheses, so I can just copy it down the way it is. This negative sign needs to distribute into the second set of parentheses, so we get -9x squared minus 4x plus 8. All of those signs changed. I combine the squareds together. -6 and -9 make -15x squared. Then I combine my x's. A +3 and a -4 make a -1x. I do not have to have that there. I can just put -x if I like. 7 and 8 make 15. There's our solution. Multiply and simplify the polynomial. When I multiply them, I distribute it to each term. If I don't want to distribute it, I can use box method, where you do the boxes like this. And I have the 3x, 9, 2x squared, x, and -7, and I multiply in. You can do it that way if you'd like, or you can just distribute it to each one. So 3 times 2 is 6, and there are 1, 2, 3 x's, so it'll be to the power of 3. 3 times 1 is 3, with a total of 2 x's, so it's squared. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21, and those two pieces only have 1x. Now I distribute the 9 in. 9 times 2 is 18, x squared. 9 times 1 is a positive 9, with only 1x. 9 times negative 7 is negative 63. And now I just combined my like terms. So I lined them up so I could just add them straight up. So we would get our final answer, 6x cubed plus 18, 19, 20, 21x squared minus, let's see, 12x minus 63. Okay, next one. A square has sides that measure x plus 4. I'm going to draw that really quick just so we have a visual. X plus 4, x plus 4, x plus 4 on all sides because it's a square. What is the area? To find the area, I do length times width, which is x plus 4 times x plus 4, which would equal x squared plus 8x plus 16 when you distribute it out or use box. For the perimeter, that means you add up all of the sides. So I would have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's plus 4, 8, 12, 16 would be my perimeter. Solve the given formula for h. I'm trying to get h by itself, so I'm going to try and get rid of this fraction. To get rid of the fraction, I do the reciprocal. Those cancel out. So we have 3v over 2 equals r squared h. To get the r squared to move away from the h, I need to divide, which means that it is going to go on the denominator. Cancels out. H equals 3v over 2r squared.